Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day or night, depending on when you're listening to this and whenever I decided to upload this video. And if you're listening to this, that means you decided to opt in to hear me talk a little bit, which is great. Since Valentine's Day is approaching, I wanted to talk a little bit about it from the side of someone who is single, and I feel like not enough people talk about it, which makes perfect sense. But I have some fond single memories in school to talk about. But first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the artwork that you've been watching or just started watching. It started out as a quick sketch, but I decided to put in a little bit more. Someone in my live stream on my main channel, Ergo Josh, mentioned that it's time to start being more creative and adding more to my artwork, make it more personal, make it more unique, and add a creative spin on it. I just want to mention right now, I just realized I was talking way too fast for this ASMR feel, so I'm gonna slow down a little bit. But yeah, so I really sat down and looked at the reference, and I was like, okay, how can I make this interesting? What am I getting from this reference? And the first thing I immediately wanted to do was she's actually holding a phone in the original picture. So I was like, okay, well, let me make it a book, She's reading a book instead of looking at her phone to take this selfie, right? So I was like, all right, let's make it a book. And then from there, I still had no idea. So I was like, all right, let's add a pillow. Let's make it so that she's sitting on a really big pillow, because the way her legs are crossed, it looked really good for that. And I had actually remembered drawing a pillow like that before. I think it was in 2018. And then I was like, well, what if I added all these papers flying around? I did that before when I was in high school, like 2013. And I still remember that kind of flow. So I actually sketched out some papers flying around, and then I realized, well, what if I make some of them like feathers coming out of the pillow? And then it hit me, I can make it look like she's like this spellcaster, and like she's making the fluff from the pillow come out, and all the books from the pages are flying around her. And then once I started adding my Ergo Josh pink to it all, it started to have this very lovey-dovey romantic vibe to it. And I was like immediately, oh, this has to be my Valentine's Day artwork. And that makes this almost the 6th or 7th year in a row I did a Valentine's themed artwork, which is really odd because I don't know how I ended up doing it so consistently for Valentine's Day and not for other holidays. But my other ones are absolutely terrible. But this one I'm actually quite proud of. And so I decided to do that and make it so that she's like reading a love spell book, and she's in the process of casting the spell, and all the magic is flying around and she's floating. I started to get really into it when I remembered the scene from The Witcher on Netflix. If you haven't watched that, you should. It's pretty good. It's a little annoying at some parts, but I played the original game, so I had a little bit of reason to have complaints, but overall I really enjoyed it. And so there's a character that has a similar kind of experience, and so I was drawing from that memory in order to get everything right. Looks like the AC cut on. Hopefully I can get that out without ruining the audio quality. And I just went with it and added a lot more intense colors. I started coloring a little bit, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Why don't I use this for my recording this week? Because coloring is a really easy task for me to draw, and it also means that I can draw with my iPad laying flat. And so that would make for a really good video, because that's the most aesthetic way to draw. And so I did that, and it turned out to be really great. And yeah, my new Paperlike screen protector sounds absolutely wonderful. I wonder how long it's going to hold up, because I had my last one on for several months, and I don't remember it being nearly as nice and scratchy as this one feels now. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this painting sketch. And if we start talking about Valentine's Day, my first memory of a unique Valentine's Day, other than, the very early years, everyone's required to make Valentine's Day gifts for every single person in the class, and you would go pick up a sheet of Valentines with your parents at the grocery store, and then you would fill all the names out of your classmates out the night before Valentine's Day, and it would be so fun, and you'd get so much candy. But after that kind of started to die down, I remember in third grade, I had a crush on a girl. I had a crush on like every a specific girl almost every single year of my of like grades 1 through 12. It was really weird. But in third grade, and I remember all their names too. But in third grade, her name was Stephanie, and I remember, I don't know why she decided to tell me this, or because I didn't really talk to people that much in school. So she came up to me and she was like, guess what? I asked this guy, such and such, I don't remember his name, to be my Valentine. And she was all like, I asked him to be my Valentine. She was all like cute about it. And I was like, oh, cool. I don't really remember what my reaction was, but I just thought that was funny. I remember feeling like crushed about it because, he was the new kid in school. He was popular. Everybody liked him. And, I, for some reason, had a taste for one of the prettiest girls in the grade, at least from my memory. Going back, I feel like when your memory of people is like the same age as you are, no matter how old you get. And then when you go back, it's like, oh boy, things are very different. But then the next memory I had is, I'm not sure what year it was. It definitely was not my freshman year of high school, but at least it was one of the last 3 years of high school. There was actually a thing they did for fundraising where they would have these questionnaires, and everyone filled them out. You had to pay $1 or $2 to do it, and a lot of people would do it, and you would fill out this questionnaire, and then you would get back a list of your matches, and they would compare it with every single person who filled out the questionnaire. And you would have a percentage of how close your questions matched. And it was really cool because they would be the person's full name printed on your little results sheet that they would give out 2 weeks later. They would try to time it so that you get it on Valentine's Day. And I remember one particular year, I got like a really high score for this, like, I never had a crush on this girl, but she was like this really tall, attractive, like exotic European girl. I won't say her name because that's like much closer to reality. I there's no way the girl from third grade is ever gonna see this video, or anyone ever linking her. But I just remember that, and I was thinking, wow, that would be interesting. But of course, me back then, I of course never even gave it a thought to even mention that to her. And the thing is if you did it and the other person was there on the list, that means they did it too, which means you would be because she was my number 2, and that means I would show up as number 2 for her as well. So that was interesting. I don't think we ever talked about it, but she was cool. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for my Valentine's Day experiences in school growing up. Ever since then, I've never had a relationship around that time, and it's nice not being in school when you're bombarded with it, and you're forced to remember it. And now that I'm on social media so much because it's part of what I do for my job, it's like, oh, that's funny how everyone is just sharing about how they're going to be alone on Valentine's Day, and it's like it's funny how it's like we're the ones punishing ourselves for being alone on this day. Because I don't see anyone in a relationship posting a lot about it. I don't see anyone boasting about it. You're not going to see anyone posting their gifts and stuff until the day of. And so I find that interesting that we're kind of all making ourselves feel worse for being single. But yeah, that's just the thought I have on Valentine's Day. And I will quit talking now because I want you guys to have most of the video to just enjoy the nice ASMR. I'll probably just have this coincide with the very end of the video, and yeah, hopefully I can get the sibilance down. I've realized from the comments, yeah, I have a very S soundy voice, and I'm gonna try to stop saying S words. And hopefully I can figure out a way to get it down. I'm using 2 microphones now, so I'm hoping you guys enjoy that as well. It's a much more interesting experience. I used it for the pencil sounds as well, and I hope you enjoy it. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be next week. I thank you so much again for subscribing. This channel's been growing very fast, much faster than my first channel, if you compare it to the length of time this existed and the amount of videos I've uploaded. And yeah, I'll see you next week. Have a great night and have a wonderful Valentine's Day. And if you're single, get a lot of chocolate. All right, see ya.